Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to Umlink Energy Speaks Back, powered by Hark. My name is Paul Webb. I'm the founder of B2B Energy, and I'm your host. Weekly, I present to you experts from around the world, and today we are interviewing passion around song and verse. Our purpose, as always, is to provide a good understanding of energy management knowledge from around the world, which is available today for us to deliver savings that impact on our planet. So before we get into today's interview, I would like to recognise our sponsors, who are Umlink. They are an organisation taking the confusion out of energy management. Clean Energy Revolution for their knowledge and their networking in the renewable world. B2B Energy for their 11-week energy program. Hark Systems, renowned for their energy software. Alexis Energy for their power management. Led by Vision, who are an LED and a controls organisation. Sign Watts for their electronics and EV transition. Carbon Black Global for their waste to energy initiatives. And then lastly, our certificate partners, Esther Energy. Welcome to episode 67 of Umlink Energy Speaks Back, powered by Hark. My special guests are writers and composers of music and words around what matters. So without any further ado, I give you the It Matters to Me composers and writers, Chris Symons and Jenny Baily. Good afternoon, Chris and Jenny, and how are you both today?
Very well, thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
Keeping well. And
Good.
sane, I think is the word.
Yeah, just about sane, I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of excitement.
Thank you for being in the same box today. Normally I've got two different boxes I'm having to juggle around. It's really great to see you both. And Jenny, we've done a podcast and I've brought your books. We've sent your books around the world.
Incredible.
We've done some exciting stuff with Phoebe, and we know you've got a new character sort of bouncing around in the background, which I'm sure you'll tell us about today. So I'd like you both to give us the background really to yourselves and where you've come from and what brings you here today as such. So we're going to start with Chris, I think.
Well, I've
put him on the spot straight away, shall we?
Well, my background is, I spent many years in the play industry creating environments for children to play. So I learned a lot about conservation and about protecting the environment and bringing the environment into children's play. And I've always had that sort of, I suppose, the consciousness of how we treat our planet. I worked for a company that its main ethos was protect the planet at all costs. So coming through to now, in my 60th year, I began writing music when I was a young man, a small boy really, but it never really took off until I was into probably my 30s. And songwriting actually came to me when I was in my 40s, and it sort of developed from there. And as far as singing goes, because that's the voice on the record, that only started about, 12, 13 years ago, when I had to learn to sing to get my songs heard so that someone else could sing them.
So that is your voice on that?
I sing the song, yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah, I still don't reckon the world is ready for my voice, but it's out there, so it's too late now.
It's not quite Ed Sheeran, but you've got that style, I think. It's definitely got some style. I really enjoyed the song.
I think it's important that it's not just a case of singing a song. You have to perform the song so that the message and the feeling and the emotion comes through the singing of the song, even on record.
Yeah.
I worked with quite a few people, including Jenny. I mean, we wrote an album about 10, 11 years ago, which I'm still very proud of and I still listen to occasionally. And that was probably my first venture into singing on a record.
Yeah, right. It was.
But yes, I've just finished my own album, and I was looking for a song to go on the back end of it. And Jen said to me,
that one. How about that one? We
why
wrote
don't
that
you
one.
think about that one?
Put that one on.
And I sort of looked at it and tweaked it a bit and went into the studio, and it was done in a day.
Wow. Well, we're going to talk more about that in a minute, but let's talk about yourselves first. So, Jenny, come on, tell us more. You didn't tell us about your music writing, your songwriting before, I'm sure. So there must be some.
No, possibly not. I was very much well, the focus I think before for the podcast was all about Tales from Mother Earth, wasn't it? Which is something that that we've started, and we started back in 2020. And when we needed a composer for it at the start, I asked Chris to come and join us. So we're both in Tales from Mother Earth. But this really is separate, I think, in a way, because like Chris says, we've been writing music now and performing music. We've done a few gigs for charity and that kind of thing as well for probably about 10 years now. When I first moved back from New Zealand after I lived over there for 7 years, I spotted, or actually my husband at the time spotted, a keyboard in the back of your truck. And Chris was actually our landlord of the property that we moved back to when we got back to England, to be in the area close to our families. And I think he mentioned it to you. He said, "Oh, my wife sings a bit." And so we kind of started jamming and kind of caught up, and before we knew it, I was sharing some of my songs with Chris, and he was sharing some of his songs with me and some of his writings, and he was a genius. He is a genius. I mean, I sometimes sing my songs to him or hum my songs to him, and he will play them back to me on the piano, and that talent is just incredible. Just amazing. It's blown me away. And then we started singing together, and I was writing some duets, and we started singing. And it's just been fun. It's been our creative outlet, I think. And when I went through my divorce, for instance, that album that Chris was referring to really was my creative outlet. It let me know that my life at the time wasn't quite on the right path in terms of the relationship, and the music continued, and it just kept reminding me that it wasn't quite right. There was reasons it wasn't quite right, and I needed to exit it, I think, in a certain way, which happened. But in terms of it matters to me, and in terms of the conservation messages and how much I love nature, I can't describe how much I love nature. It's everything to me, and conservation. I'm a mother. And obviously, being a parent, you've got to look for the future. You've got to think of the future generations. You've got to think the sort of the world that your children are going to inherit. And I was very concerned about that. And so, and also when we were doing the whole thing with Tales from Mother Earth, and we were out there talking to people, we had people coming up to us and saying, "Oh, well, nature just doesn't matter to me." And I was so shocked. And obviously, like Chris says, we wrote that last year, and then we also had COVID, not COVID, sorry. Well, obviously COVID was happening at the time, but we also had COP26 that was looming as well. And we thought, what is going to happen out of COP26? Is it going to be amazing change? Is it going to be great things? Or is it going to be politicians talking and like we put in those lyrics, talking some more? So, I mean, in terms of our background, I think it's true to say that we had that creative influence to connect, and once you share someone's words and their music, you're sharing someone's soul. And we've just had a friendship for the last 10, 11, 12 years really.
Absolutely.
And it's just developed from there. It's just been very, very strong because we know each other so well.
I look at my grandchildren and my children. I have 2 girls and 3 grandchildren so far. And I'm trying to look at the planet that they're going to inherit from us, and it frightens me. We will survive. They'll manage to get through it, but not in the way that we see it, or we have seen it in 50 years ago when we were growing up as children. The world was a very different place. We need to find a way back towards that. How we do that is entirely up to the geniuses that we have out there. But we've decided that we need to play a part within the grand scheme of things. And what do we do? What are we good at? And the thing is that we're good at communicating a message through song and through music. And if that's where my contribution lies, then that's what I'm going to concentrate on. I can write a bit as well, and I do comment a lot on social media and ask questions, and I get good responses, especially through the LinkedIn community. But through my music, I found I touch people's hearts. It makes me feel very good that I do that, as well as writing songs, I write music as well, but I actually don't write or read music at all. It's all in here. And I have to learn it, remember it, play it, hopefully record it before I forget it. And then I move on to the next bit. But yeah, there are so many times when I sit at a piano and I come out with a piece of music straight from the heart. And I forget to press record, and
we say, play it again, Chris, and it's gone.
It's gone. It just disappears into the ether.
That's a sign of true genius. You know that, don't you?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's pure. It's so pure, isn't it? That's what it is. It's pure. That you're just going with it. That's amazing. Well,
I think also, Paul, when I first met Chris, he was a reluctant musician in a way as well. You weren't putting yourself out there. You weren't showing anyone this amazing light and this amazing talent. And so I set him a task that he's accepted. And that is, I mean, this was like 10 years ago. I think I put this task to you. And it was like every piano. I mean, if I had the talent Chris had in terms of playing music, I tried. I mean, I can play music. I can play the piano, but there's something lacking between the words coming out and my hands on the keys. There's just, you think it's going to be a natural connection, and it's not. I think it's one of the hardest things, really. So yeah, hats off, absolutely. But I gave him this challenge that every piano he ever passes and sees, never to pass it, to actually sit at it and play something. And you've been able to do that, haven't you? You've played a few now.
I've been told on one or two occasions, get off. But I do it because I've got instructions from her next to me.
Yeah, I give him a kick, and I guess you've said that to me in the past, so I hope that's okay to say that. But I give him a kick because, you know, when he's a little bit low, I just think the talent you have, you know, go out there, find a piano and play it, and you will give people so much joy. So yeah, it's definitely our creative outlet. We definitely inspire each other. Yeah, and a common thing we have, obviously, because we're also connected with Tales from Mother Earth in a massive way, is the conservation. And when we had people say to us, it doesn't matter, that really hit home, because I just thought, what are you saying? It doesn't matter. I mean, you're a parent. And yeah, I mean, it's saying it doesn't care about the air you breathe, you don't care about the food you're eating or where it's coming from or how it's grown, how it's developed, and nature. It just really struck me. And so when we looked at the lyrics, it was very easy to turn those kind of discussions into lyrics, really, to say, people are saying out there it's not matter, and it's mattering so much to us, we need to do something about it. And so when we put this together, we knew it had a greater purpose than us, because we almost heard Michael Jackson's song, didn't we, in our mind?
Oh yeah, the
Earth song. We kind of were talking about that, and I said, I can really hear children joining in and singing the chorus and singing some of these lyrics, because it's powerful stuff. We even got the goosebumps on our arms at one point, didn't we?
Well,
and that's always an indication.
You sent that link to me last week, and straight away I'm not exaggerating here, my heart opened up to what, you know, the words, the music, it just hit me. And I found myself listening. You know, I love music, I love song, and I do like to listen to the words to understand what's going on. And when I know someone who's actually written it, then it sort of means more to me. You know, it does matter. And then when you start to listen to those words and the video clip that was attached to it, it just sort of like I hit a brick wall regarding, we need to do something with this.
Exactly.
Hence, I said, right, I've got a choir lined up. I've got all my networks. We could all get on Zoom and sing it.
Brilliant.
We can't all sing. You know, I used to be in a choir at school. I think my choir sort of teacher would call me a growler now. She used to call us growlers, or you're either on the right for the growlers and the left for the choir. Yeah, so I'll be a growler now, obviously. But I think, you know, I would sing. I'm a football singer, if that makes sense, from the football spectator.
Well, you'd be chanting, and that song needs chanting. It really does. You can do the chorus with and just will everybody to come together on it, because it's so important. And if you put your passion and your emotion into that song, then it will be, I believe, it can travel around the world, and because it will be infectious, because it does matter to us. It matters to all of us, and we need to somehow reach out to everybody. And I believe that our music, that song, can really unify people behind the cause of the fact that, wake up, this really does matter to us.
Yeah. So let's go back to the morning of the day you wrote the song.
Okay.
And how did it all start? Go through that story for us.
Jenny often comes to me on the phone and says, I'm bored. I've got an hour to spare.
I've got an hour to spare. That's more like it. Yeah,
an hour. Oh, you can do a lot in an hour then.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's never enough. Anyway, I'm lucky that I have a soundproofed studio shed in my garden where I have my pianos, and I do a lot of my writing and playing out there. And so I invited her around. I said, "Come on, we'll do a bit of singing or whatever."
A music session.
Anyway, the long and the short of it was that she turned up, and I said, "Well, let's not sing. Let's write a song instead." And so, what do you write a song about? You could write a song about love, about life, and
there's always inspiration in a song.
That's right.
There's always got to be a reason to write it, and for us, I think, I'm talking, for us, I think we take it out of life experiences, really, don't we?
On this particular day, I think we settled on the environment.
Yeah, because it's huge in our hearts.
This was back in March last year. And we started putting this song together. We just threw some words on a page, each of us, and then we put the words together and started making up the lines of the song. And at the same time, I was playing with chords on the piano, and so we could get the song to scan with the music. And then the melody started forming. And the melody, funny enough, but to both of us, it comes naturally. You don't have to sit there and say, well, where's this going to go? You just start singing, and it works.
Like we know where it's going to go. Yeah.
And then the chorus, I said, well, we need something that's going to be a bit anthemic,
a bit punchy. Yeah.
So that's where whoa, 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 whoa came out. And to me, that's totally alien, because I don't sort of do that type of music. I think in the past,
I think there's probably a Bon Jovi influence with me somehow.
Yeah, I think something's happened there.
I was just going to say that.
Definitely a Bon Jovi influence.
But and then we basically shelved the song, really, and thought, oh, we'll get back to that sometime. COP26 happened, and I was looking for the last song to go on my album, and Jen said, well, we could do this one. And I said, well, okay, well, it needs some work. So we knew that COP26 had happened, and it was an unmitigated failure, actually. I'm afraid it failed to deal with the issues that are worrying us at the moment, and any resolution that was made was purely it was window dressing. And that's my opinion. So we added the centre bits, that when the fire burns, it heats the earth, and those sections there.
And the politicians talk some more.
That's it. We then sort of Jen handed the song to me and said, right, go and do your stuff.
Well, he was going up to a recording studio to do his album, obviously in a brilliant recording studio where you go in Wales. I'm a mum of 2 children here in Ashford in Kent, and I couldn't travel up to Wales to come and join you in the recording studio, but I was green with envy. And you went ahead and recorded it, and it's just fantastic. It's just and when I heard it, when you sent it back to me, I cried, because I get quite emotional when I listen to it. One, because obviously, it does matter. It matters so much. Sometimes it hurts, let's face it, and it really does matter. But then angry as well, because for some people it doesn't matter, and we really need to reach out to them. So then it was all about, well, we've got this amazing song that's radio ready after he went to the studio with it, and it was like, what to do? What can we do with it? How can we make this work? And so then I really put a plan together of sending it out to lots of organizations, using LinkedIn and my connections, and just going, look, we've got this song. We put the first verse out, didn't we?
Right.
We put the first verse. So the first verse is, what does it matter if we fail to see the little things dropped by you and me? that are carried on the tide far out to sea. What does it matter? What does it matter? And I put those words with a picture of footprints from a bird, footprints from a turtle, and then unfortunately what we tend to leave on the beach, which is shocking. And Paul, we got about 10,000 or more views on it. It was just amazing. And this was just before Christmas, the beginning week of Christmas, I think it was, or beginning of December. And people started saying crazy things like, well, this could be Christmas #1. And we were just like going,
yeah, right.
Don't know about that. But thank you very much for your interest and for saying such lovely things about our song. But all we did was put that verse out, no music. We said, if you want to know more, please get in contact, because this song is, we'd love to send it to you so you can have a listen. I mean, it wasn't on YouTube at that point. It purely just was. On an
MP3 on my phone at the moment.
That's right.
Yeah, at that moment, yeah.
And but it has got that pedigree, hasn't it, that song, to be in the charts and to be challenging a Christmas #1 or whatever it is. It has got the pedigree to do that.
That's right.
I mean, it's got more legs than ever now, obviously, because it's the ARC 2030 album, anthem, and it's got more legs than ever. And the fact that it's found its purpose is just a joy to Chris and myself, because the traction that it's going to have, the connections that are there, and how it can be put to work now for the world, which is still quite strange for us to say that, because this is our song in a way, but it's just incredible. I mean, the anthem, and then obviously ARC 2030 put the video together, and you're right, it's such a hard-hitting video, and that completely and utterly unifies your thought process of course it matters.
It realigns everything.
Got to pull together.
Realigns everything. What was going through your minds when you were sitting in that, and you in the first recording studio, and you was writing these words on the bit? I can just see it now. You've got one pad.
Yeah.
You've both got your pads. You're both putting your words, and they all come together
every now and then. And so the litter thing was really concerning me. The fact that I take my boys litter collecting, and we have people sort of just passing us, and it's not the fact that, I mean, some people have even said, are your boys in trouble? Is this their punishment? And I'm like, no, this is something that we all want to do, because once you turn around and after you've cleared an area, then you can see what a difference you've made, and that makes us all feel good. So it's not a punishment at all. We actually like doing it, and we go out and do it regularly.
I love trees. I've fallen out of a few of them over the years.
Literally.
Yeah, well, you can see my looks reflect the very accidents that I've had. But no, I love trees, and without them, they're the lungs of the world, and without them, we are in peril. But I always hate seeing trees taken down for little or no reason. Sometimes it's necessary, and sometimes we need to use the material, but providing we're replacing it, that's fine. But what does it matter if we bring down a tree, been standing there for centuries? And that's the sort of thing that really annoys me. I suppose that's my part. That's what I was thinking. When we started putting the words together, we thought, this is sounding quite good, actually. A little bit nonchalant about it. This is quite good. We could do something with this. And as I said, it wasn't. We sort of shelved it for a little bit, and then came back to it late September, early October.
But what it was, when we sent it out to the various people on LinkedIn, and the interest was there, it was just wonderful. And I was then sending emails with the file, wasn't I, letting them hear it, and then the interest was even stronger when it came back. So it was incredible. So like I was saying, then it came to a case of sending it out to organisations and some of our connections. And the ARC 2030 really just came about purely because I was contacting Stephen, who's the chair of ARC 2030. I was sending him details about Tales from Mother Earth and how we can work together, and our books, obviously, children's books. And he was telling me about Archangels, which is part of one of the pillars of ARC 2030. And I literally, Paul, just put it as a footnote at the end of an email, just saying, oh, by the way, I don't know if you know, because sometimes I guess I don't tell that many people, but I love to create music. I'm a singer-songwriter. I work with my colleague and my friend, Chris Symons, who's actually also our composer at Tales from Mother Earth. And we put this song together, and I thought, I'm just going to include it here. I thought you might you might be interested in it. It's saying all the things that really matter at the moment, that are very much mattering to us, and it's in our mind. And obviously it's all about conservation and the world. And well, I'm going to include it, and just have a listen and get back to me and let me know what you think. And that was it. That was on the 14th or 15th of December, something like that.
Yeah. And he didn't pick up on it.
Yeah.
And when we went back to sort of remind, just sort of nudge him a little bit on the other matters, we just said, "Oh, did you hear the song?" And he said, "I've had loads of songs sent in." He said, "I haven't got to that one." And he said, "Well, look, if you think about Michael Jackson's Earth song."
Oh, yes.
And he said, "Oh, all right, I'll listen to it." And then about literally it was half an hour later, I suppose.
Yeah, I said that when I was talking to him. I said, I was just trying to sort of set him up to kind of have a listen to it and kind of think what it may be sounding like. And I actually put it in the email that I sent. I said, I can hear lots of children singing this. At the moment, it's Chris singing it, and he's done a fantastic job in the studio. But in the future, I can hear lots of children singing it. And when I was talking to him on the Zoom call, I was kind of thinking, think Michael Jackson's Earth song. It's kind of, around there. And when he first caught up with us, he was like, Jenny was really sounding it up, but it's worth it. He's going. And so, it was amazing. He came back to us on LinkedIn, and he said, I've heard it, and now I've heard it 10 times, and I've played it to the family. I adore it. I've been speaking to this person, that person, and this person in different parts of the world about it.
Yeah. Do you mind if we send it to my producers in LA?
Yeah. And we were like, whoa. So, and it kind of grew from there. He said, I actually got quite emotional listening to it, and I was like, yeah, me too. It's really grown from there. And he said it's got the Ark Anthem written all over it, and to hear those words was just, well, when I phoned you, I said, you need to sit down.
I had goosebumps and tingling going up and down my spine. I've never had this before. You see, I've written a lot of music, but it's basically been friends and relatives. I'm a hobby pianist.
Yeah.
As I said,
well, no more. You're going to hit the big time with this one, I think.
Yeah.
So there's something going to be happening on the
World Environment Day. Yeah, June the 5th.
June the 5th, yeah. Tell us about that.
Right. The idea is to bring a collection of choirs from around the world to record the song, either in their own language, but hopefully in English as well. And then what we're going to do is create a video with almost like a Live Aid type song, where particular choirs sing a line or two, and they put this video together so that the song can be played and you hear the choirs playing it.
Well, that's our understanding of it.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, this is all ARC 2030's anthem, so things may change, and that's down to them. But that's what we've been informed, and also, as well as those 30 choirs from around the world in different dialects and different cultures and everything, they're very keen on everyone, really, on schools and communities, groups that are meeting up, families, just to get the song, learn the song, and then sing it and put it on social media, and just let everybody sing it together. So there's one big chorus of It Matters to Me, which will just be amazing, on the 5th of June, which is World Environment Day. It's the UN World Environment Day, and it comes really at the end of the celebrations for the Queen's celebrations. It's Sunday, I think, 5th of June.
When you announced about the choir, we had already discussed it within our team, that we've got one of our co-directors and our founders, Elvira. She actually manages a choir. She teaches singing, and it was a Sunday before I got your message, and she sang to me "Happy Birthday," and it was an absolutely amazing song. And I thought, and then you tell us about this choir, and it's just, our planets have been coming together, and then this one big planet comes in front of us regarding this song. So we're, as Umlink, we are very keen to be a part of that choir.
Fantastic. Where are you guys based, or are you all over the world?
So this is interesting. So Danny's based in Chicago. Elvira is Russian, but she lives in Venice, and obviously I'm based in the UK.
Okay.
But the choir is based in Venice, is Europe. But I think she teaches all round, so it could be anywhere. But we've got Zoom nowadays and good mics and things, and
that's how.
And as I said, I'm a growler. So
well, you can definitely.
I won't be in it. I'll be conducting. I'll be conducting if I do have any featuring in it. So
what we need to do is send you the little. You got the lyric sheet and you got the chords, obviously. So in the future, we'll send you the music, and then you can play it and go from there. And join it on social media, and like you said, put it on your website and wherever you want to put it, and we just need to raise that awareness around the world that it really matters, and hopefully, the powers that be will listen. But it's not necessarily the powers that be these days; it's the people, isn't it? It's us that have a certain amount of power, because we want that transparency and we want that trust in where we place our money as consumers, and that's so important.
We've actually prepared a no voice version of the song that we will put out,
like a backing track,
to all the choirs that have responded to us. Can't quite do that just yet, but that will come up soon. But yes, the idea is to try and persuade enough people around the world to start thinking and start supporting this campaign, It Matters to Me, or the ARC 2030. When you get a 20 to 25% of the population of any particular nation shouting and screaming, the governments will hear it. It's enough to change policy. And we need to do this around the world. And funny enough, I had a conversation the other day. What about China? What about America? What about Russia? We can only do that through influencing people. If we talk to, let's just take someone on social media, let's say, just take someone like Beyonce, who's got 300 million followers. If she can start telling people what she's doing to save the planet, her followers will start doing that as part of their their support for that artist.
Yeah, it's influencing, isn't it?
It is influencing. Yeah. So that's what we need to do.
And it's amazing how music and song can do that, because you hear some music and you'll be singing it all day in your mind, and those words, it doesn't matter whether you're singing them words. Them words are going in your mind, aren't they?
Exactly.
That's right. It also touches on the raw emotions within us, and we all know where we were when we heard a particular song that affected us to the point where we cried. It's the same as when you see something terrible on television. You always happen to know where you were. But you hear certain songs and they remind you of certain parts in your life when you were meeting your first girlfriend, holding your baby for the first time, watching your parents, part this world, if you want to go that far. But there's always a piece of music that sort of supports that particular event. And I think if we can do that with It Matters to Me, then our mission is complete. We've done our job. We've got other work to do. There's other music to write, but certainly to get a campaign off the ground, I think the song is strong enough to do that. And I hope it is. And I hope we can reach as many people around the world as possible, so that they can collectively transmit the message further up the line.
It's positive as well. I mean, there's got to be that positive message with it. It matters to me, so let's do something about it. Let's all come together. Make a plan. I mean, again, the lyrics, you just look at the lyrics and it's like, let's get it done. Let's come together all as one. It's so important. So, and I think there's got to be that positive message. There's got to be a message of hope there, because if you go on the offensive and go, it's awful and this is happening and that's happening and that's happening, then people in their human state really can turn off and switch off and become very defensive about it very quickly. So the whole thing about It Matters to Me is the fact that there's a positive message there. It's not just one person, it's everybody coming together. It's the importance of collaboration, which as we know, I mean, collaboration is everything. To be one person in this group and trying to achieve this is crazy, but to be a collective is so important, and so much can be done when you actually come together and collaborate. And so I think there's a really important positive message that's ringing through the whole thing, and the music element just unifies it, just brings it together, just makes us feel that we can achieve this can be achieved. We can all stand together, we can be proud of what we can achieve, and let's do something. As David Attenborough said, it's like the worst thing you can do is do nothing. don't waste another moment, don't do nothing. So do something. And that's what started Tales from Mother Earth as well, the fact that we had to do something. And we all felt better by doing something. It made us feel better. And collectively, if you can do something and share that, it's even better. But I think for It Matters to Me and ARC 2030, out of all the organizations that we kind of put it out to, or were kind of aware of it, and I guess there wasn't that many in a way, but we are delighted that ARC 2030 obviously saw the potential in the music, really connected with the words, really got that positive vibe from what we'd written and what we put together in the music, and got that emotion, which is what it's all about. And out of all those organizations, we're delighted that they've seen the potential in that. And also, they're going to use it for their anthem, which is just out of this world for us. It's just fantastic. But out of all of them out there, Paul, I really believe ARC 2030 can hold hope for the world. And it's strange saying that kind of thing because it's such a huge thing to say. But with their traction, with their connections, with the work they're doing, with their platform, that there really is a great chance in the next 10 years to work with them to get amazing results for the world. It's all about restoring, isn't it? Like you said. Restoring
the planet to where it was perhaps at the beginning of the Industrial Revolution. He's talking about restoring 500 million hectares of land. And there's a method behind it, and it works. He wants to invest in the future through technology, through people, through science, and through nature. And he wants to educate, and educating everybody to understand that what they do in the kitchen, at home, in the playground, at school, in everyday work, it has an effect on the greater problem around the planet. Greta Thunberg, as young and innocent as she is, she says no one is too small to make a difference. Consider what you buy, consider what you consume. If you don't buy it, they won't make it.
Yeah, that's right.
They tell you what you need. You go out there thinking you need it, so you buy it. If you don't need it, don't buy it. They won't make it, and we will be better off.
Very good points. So it's come at this stage, and there's so much content gone into this. I haven't even had a chance to say half the questions I want to ask. The passion is just
sorry, well, we get
coming
carried
through
away.
my headphones now.
This is our passion, so we get
carried
away.
I know it is. So it's come to that stage where I like to give something back to the industry and the people listening to today. And I'd like to put you guys on the spot and say, is there anything you can give back today to the industry, of the people listening to our podcast today?
I don't know about giving back, but the thing that strikes me is we all have a choice. That's the thing that strikes me. So in terms of, like, for instance, I walked my son up to school today and I picked up 4 masks on the journey up, and then I went around the block and picked up another 4 or 5. And I was with a friend, and my friend was complaining about the people that actually dropped them. And I was like, yeah, but that's in the past tense now. You've got to think about the future, and you have a choice. That mask is on the floor, on the ground, in our environment. Do we pick it up, or do we just walk past it and go, oh, someone's dropped that and it's their responsibility? It's not their responsibility anymore. They've left it in the environment. And if you care about the environment, you pick it up. And I can't walk past rubbish like that and leave it. So yeah, I picked up about 8 or 9 this morning. So I don't know if that's necessarily giving back, but I think it's really important to know that we all have a choice, and it's all up to us to make the right choices as best as we can. Because like Chris said, in the kitchen or at the school or out in the environment, I mean, we have a choice. You can feed the birds or you don't have to feed the birds. It's much nicer if you do feed the birds. You feel much better about it. You can provide water for them. You can put nest boxes up. You can do the bee hotels, and you know all about putting water out for bees. Because I know you bought a bee bath, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
And again, it's a choice. And by making those right choices, you are guaranteed to make yourself feel better. And so that's the giving back, isn't it? Because everybody wants to feel better about the future, about what's happening. And we do have some element of control. And the element of control I think we all have is in our environment. We have a choice, and let's make those right choices for us. and for our future and for our children. That's my bit.
And you, Chris, do you want to contribute to that?
If I was to give something back to the planet, it would be hope. Hope that in the fact that we can all make a difference in our own way. We need to think before we do, and we need to understand what we've done so that we don't do it again if it's the wrong thing. And we need to understand the world around us needs us as, we need the planet more than it needs us, but the planet needs us to help it now. And that's the message I want to give back. I try to communicate my thoughts and my emotions through music. And if I can inspire people to respond to that in a positive way, then that's what I give back to the world. But my message is simple. Be conscious of the world around you, be conscious of the people around you, and just let's all work together to make change for the good.
It's the same really as what we say from Tales from Mother Earth, isn't it? We can all make a difference. No one's too small to make a difference. And another quote that I absolutely adore is the one from Anne Frank, the fact that no one needs to wait a single moment before we make the world a better place. Or something along those lines.
Yeah.
Something along those lines. That might not be it word for word.
I just sent that simple message to you that this matters to me.
Yes.
What you're doing.
Thank you.
It does. It does. I think you've done amazing. The story, listening to the story and feeling your honestly, I've been battered today through my headphones and through the screen of the passion that's coming through from this. It is an amazing song. I think it is going somewhere. It's got legs, it's got pedigree, it's got everything it needs to get out across the world and for people to really embrace. Well done. I'm very proud to be interviewing you as part of this so quickly as well. So thank you very much for that opportunity.
It's just what we do.
Before I'm going to give you the opportunity and the honor to introduce this song because I'm going to play at the end. But please, you and your families be safe in these times.
Bless you, Paul. Thank you so much. Thank you for your wonderful support and keep singing. It matters to me.
Will do. So please introduce us as we go out.
Do you want to do that?
Yeah. Here is the song by Jenny and Chris. It's called "It Matters to Me," and
it's the ARC anthem.
It's the ARC,
yeah. ARC 2030 anthem. Check it out; it's amazing.
And we hope you enjoy it.
What does it matter if we fail to see the little things dropped by you and me, carried on the tide far out to sea? What does it matter? What does it matter? Does it matter if we bring down a tree? Been standing there for centuries, giving us life and air to breathe. What does it matter? What does it matter? And if everyone else thought the same, and their only concern was profit or gain, profit or gain. Oh, it matters to me. Oh, it's happening, can't you see? Together, all as one, make a plan and get it done. Save the world for you and me before it's gone. politicians talk and talk some more, but Mother Earth is keeping score. And the fuel we burn heats the earth, yet we ask for more, no matter the cost. Our thirst for wealth means the world is lost unless we change our ways. We go. To me, that life should be free, and turn the tide and protect our seas, rewild our lands so the earth can breathe. It matters to you, and it matters to me.